My name is Scott Trowbridge, and I'm a portfolio creative executive at Walt Disney Imagineering, and we are here to unveil to the public for the very first time the model of our immersive Star Wars lands that we're bringing to both Disneyland and to Walt Disney World. So we're excited about adding more Star Wars to our parks, and of course Star Wars has been a part of Disney parks for 30 years now, with the original Star Tours here at Disneyland that opened in 1987. So we have not made any announcements about any of those attractions, but we're just excited to bring more Star Wars to the parks. So both of these projects are the single largest land expansions that we've ever done at either site, either in Disneyland or in Walt Disney World. So, and if you're going to do a Star Wars land, it has to be epic and it has to be big. So one of the things that we knew from the very beginning was these lands will have a big footprint, and that's going to be a challenge, especially at Disneyland, where that park has such a rich history. It really required us to rethink how we were actually going to site this. That actually at Disneyland in Anaheim, that required us to actually move the river and move the railroad to reorient this stuff so that the whole park worked great as a whole experience. So both of the Star Wars immersive lands, both at Disneyland and at Walt Disney World, are pretty much the same. The way they interface with the rest of the park is a little different, but for the most part, both of those lands will be very, very similar. So those who are familiar with some of the work that Imagineering has been doing over the past number of years, including some of the research and development work we've been doing, might be aware that we've been thinking about how do we actually bring this more participatory form of experience to life. And we've done some play tests in the past, and we've done some experiments in the past, prototypes. And one probably wouldn't be too surprised to find out that we've taken a lot of that thinking and put it into this project. So we're going to actually open this project with two big anchor attraction experiences. The first puts you behind the controls of the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. It's one of the fastest ships in the galaxy, and this time you're going to be able to actually control it. So if you fly left, the ship goes left. You fly to the right and smash into that building, that is completely your choice. Although I will tell you, if you bring back the ship all banged up, the boss man might not be too happy, and this is a land where those kinds of choices have consequences. And our other big anchor attraction experience that we're opening with puts you right in the middle of an epic battle between the First Order and the Resistance. It's everything you expect out of a Star Wars experience, the scale, the action, the humor even, that makes Star Wars, all kind of in one big epic attraction experience. I know that in the display here we are showcasing a troop transport from the First Order. And that is a vehicle that is often used by the First Order to shuttle stormtroopers and officers and other people around those massive Star Destroyers. So how that might come into play inside this project, we'll have to wait and see. So because we're inviting you to be able to live your own Star Wars adventure, that means we're giving you the opportunities to make choices, and those choices matter and they have consequences. So I kind of gave the example about how you're actually flying the Millennium Falcon. So if you do a great job at flying the Falcon, you might find a few extra galactic credits coming your way. But if you bang the ship up and bring it back all damaged, boss man might not be too happy with that. And when you roll across the street to the local cantina, you might hear from someone in the cantina that maybe there's even a bounty on your head because you owe more money than you have. So it is a place for those who want to participate, where there's an invitation in various ways to kind of like be a deeper part of the story. So on this planet we have this remote trading outpost, right? And this is a great place to get gear and food and beverages and other concoctions from all over the galaxy. So everything that you find inside our land will be completely authentic, and completely part of the story. So every detail that we put in front of guests should help us tell that story. So the cast members, the merchandise, everything helps to reinforce the core Star Wars story and to immerse you and connect you deeper with it. So we're not talking too much about the specifics of when we are in the timeline yet, but I did notice as well there's a Resistance outpost over there kind of outside the village, and I also did notice the recent arrival of that First Order TIE fighter. So it does kind of give us a little bit of a hint about when inside the timeline we might find ourselves. One of the things we wanted to make sure we did was create a place that allowed our guests to discover and participate in their own Star Wars story. So that meant not just recreating a fan favorite place like a Tatooine or a Hoth or something. Those are great places, and we know the stories that happen there. But we also know that we're not in those stories. So that led us to this idea of building this planet, a place that is well known to folks inside the Star Wars universe, although we may be discovering it for the first time. But it's a place that provides lots of opportunities for exploration, lots of opportunities for us to discover and start to participate in our own Star Wars adventure. It is a very vibrant trading port, so you can expect to find lots of Star Wars characters here. Some we may be very familiar with, and some we may be meeting for the very first time. And whether those characters are humans or alien creatures or droids, everything that you would expect to have in a vibrant Star Wars outpost, we should be able to find in this land. It is a living land, so the characters that you find here, the vehicles, the buildings, everything is part of the story, and we are inviting our guests to engage with those things. So yeah, is it interactive? Yes. Is it participatory? Yes. If you want it to be, right? I mean, you can also just kick back and relax in this land, but for those who want to participate, there's an invitation to do so. You know, I think for almost 40 years, people have dreamt about stepping into this galaxy, right, and being a part of the Star Wars universe. So for me, what I'm most excited about is giving our audience the opportunity to do that for the first time and to really feel what it's like to be a part of this fan favorite galaxy of stories and characters and places. Obviously, this is the first step of starting to unveil some of the details of this project, and we're going to be unveiling more soon, and we'll continue to provide more details and to invite our guests to start to understand the stories and meet some of these characters and start to get the backstory of this place, between now and the time we open in 2019.